What's up, what's up? What's up, guys? Let me get my phone plugged in here. Oh, how you guys doing? Hold up. TeachMeGrappling. We gotta talk. Let me see what's going on. I got some people. Tonight I might have planned a little bit better than I normally do. So we got some people waiting. Got 13 people in the house. What is this? What is this? Because change out the word grappler and put in jiu-jitsu guys. What does that mean? JF707? Greetings from Greece, Mr. John Sapla, 7. What's up, Cameron? What's up, Ishmael? From McAllen, Texas. What's up, Adrian? Patrick from Poland. We got a lot of people coming in. We got 28 now. All right, guys. Christian from Japan. Oh, we're going worldwide tonight. We got Auckland. We'll go Auckland, sweet eyes, mate, with Aaron Lyman. I can't do a very good, how do you say, not Australian, Kiwi, little Kiwi accent. We got Artem, he's back. Thunder's in the house. Nat Williams. All right. What's up, guys? What's up? We got to talk. Some of you guys are going to be upset tonight. I'm going to piss some people off. Some people are going to be happy. Anyway, for you guys that want to hear, I'm going to give you guys what I thought about the Brian Ortega Volkanovsky fight. So, yeah, it was a crazy fight. What did you guys think? Well, obviously, I'm sure you guys think that Volkanovsky won, but let me see what a few of you guys, go ahead, that you guys that fast typers, go ahead and give me what you guys, just what comes to mind. Did you guys like the fight? Were you guys entertained? I mean, it was a pretty entertaining fight. Did you guys think that Ortega should have finished? Did you guys think that the fight should have been stopped? Did you guys think that it was just an amazing fight and amazing for all the fans? So, I'm just reading a little bit. Hopefully, we'll get some more people in here. What's up? We got 34 people. Volkanovsky look amazing, guys. Yeah, he showed up in shape, huh? So, the guillotine. They got to keep Ortega from getting messed up, crap cornering. Ooh, talking bad on the corner. Yeah, Volk definitely won hands down. All right, guys, here's the deal. Let me say a few things that I thought. First off, Volkanovski is a better kickboxer than Ortega. Is that pretty obvious? They were talking a lot about the feints. They were talking about how like the team they train with is like revolutionizing the feints, something like that. Anyway, he had a lot of really good feints. So I wouldn't say that it's revolutionary. I mean, any high-level kickboxer, which I am not, but I'm obviously a fight fan. I've been doing this for a long time. It's pretty standard to use feints a lot at high levels. And, he looked great. He did really well. So the feints, he's a better kickboxer. So automatically, when you have a guy like Volkanovski controlling the stand-up, for the most part, Ortega got some shots in. I mean, he's got some length in his arms. Volkanovski's a lot shorter. Ortega had the length and the height and the reach, but he just is not a kickboxer. I mean, Ortega wants to grapple with you on the mat. And problem number two, not only is Volkanovsky a better kickboxer, but Ortega just doesn't have wrestling. So what we end up with is we have a jiu-jitsu guy, for the most part, who's learned some takedowns and he's learned some striking, but he's going to try to implement his jiu-jitsu without the key component of being able to take someone down well. So I want to talk about briefly, let's just talk about those takedowns. So he had two takedowns that I remember. One of them, the first one, was in round 3. Ortega caught a kick and threw a punch. So very common. Catch the kick, throw the punch, and, take him down. So I believe it was, he caught a left kick, I believe, and threw a left hand, like a jab, straight to Volkanovski's face, pushing him backward, knocked him down right on his butt. Hopped in on the guillotine. Before I get to the submission, think about the takedown. Catching a kick, throwing a jab. Sometimes you catch the right kick of your orthodox opponent, and then you throw a straight right hand. In this case, it was catching the left kick of the opponent and throwing a jab. So that's a takedown, right? I mean, it is. He took him down, but it's really a striking counter. It's a striking counter that leads to a takedown. Then you've got the 4th round, I think it was, when he got in the clinch and he was trying to, from the body lock, he was trying to outside trip, didn't quite work, hit a very nice inside trip, little oichigari. So now oichigari, the inside trip, is a common takedown that's taught in judo. And because Ortega has a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background, they're going to learn, especially with the Gracies in particular, they love the body lock. They love the body lock. They love the trips, whether it be an outside trip or, in this case, an inside trip, oichigari. Not koichi, but ochi. So we have 2 takedowns. Other than that, it's not like you saw Ortega really go for a lot of takedowns. He attempted a single leg, didn't quite work, went to a body lock off of it, just slipped away. He really doesn't have a takedown game. So if you're one of the best jiu-jitsu guys, you're one of the best. I mean, like, arguably Ortega on the ground, he's as dangerous as they come for the most part, right? Why do you not develop more takedowns? Why do you take the approach, I'm going to get a striking coach, and I'm going to have him develop my striking, my mostly boxing for the most part. I mean, throw some kicks, but he's more like a boxer. It's more of a boxing style with a few kicks. It's not kickboxing. Or what Ortega's doing is not kickboxing. Not what a kickboxer would consider kickboxing. It's more like boxing with throwing some kicks. And just sprinkle them in. I do not see wrestling in Ortega at all. I do not see wrestling training. Now, this blows my mind because there's no way that he's not working on it. He has to be working on wrestling too. But it's a huge hole in his game that someone has not, to be honest, changed him. You got to change. You have to evolve. And to reach this level that he's reached is incredible. And then to think to do it without the wrestling, without the ability to, I'm going to say it, what it reminds me of? The Diaz brothers. It's so obviously, it's like the Diaz brothers, like blueprint. Let's learn how to box, throw some kicks, and if we fall on the ground, we'll do some jujitsu. If someone falls down, then I'll be able to utilize the best part of my game. But tough as hell. It's like the Diaz brothers all over again. So anyway, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, all respect, guys. I'm gonna talk some shit tonight that to some people. The jujitsu guys out there are gonna be upset. If you're into jujitsu and that's all you do, you may not like what I say, but I'm just gonna be saying the truth. He's gonna have to go and work on his wrestling if he wants to get to where he can really use his jiu-jitsu. Now, let's get to the submissions, which is probably the juiciest part, right? The juiciest part of this fight, especially for grapplers out there, was watching the submissions, the defense by Volkanovski, the attacks by Ortega. So, it was all stand-up first 2 rounds. Third round, we finally saw the first takedown. We got to see, again, the catching of the kick, the jab to the face, and boom, he leaps onto a guillotine like a monkey. He jumps on. I don't know if you guys saw, when he jumped into that mount, this goes back to jiu-jitsu. It's both a positive and a negative for jiu-jitsu. The way that Ortega jumped on, it was as if he's jumping guard. That's straight up Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Like, very few other people, like wrestlers, wouldn't jump like that. We would take the guillotine and we would not wrap it like that. And it's funny because the way he jumped, it's almost like expecting Volkanovski to turn and get on top. To turn and get up. And if he were to get up, it would have been bad. If he were to get on top of Ortega, it probably would have been over. The guillotine was in. The problem is, Ortega's on top. He's in the mount. And I'm going to say something that, again, I'm armchair quarterbacking it, but this is my expertise too. And I'm sorry, Ortega may be good at grappling and good at jiu-jitsu, but I think I'm much better at MMA grappling, which is the full spectrum. So again, I'm going to get on my high horse, talk some shit. Guys, I have the luxury of doing this. I am not in the cage fighting, but in my opinion, the way that Ortega is trying to finish that guillotine, absolutely wrong. And when I say wrong, I do not mean wrong. I mean, could be done better. I just got done. What was it, a week and a half ago? We did a mounted guillotine defense video. How many of you guys, let me know in the comment section if you guys saw that video. I dropped it within the last 2 weeks, easily. Someone wanted it. It was a what's the word? A request. It was a request. Someone wanted it. I don't remember his name. I, boom, threw you the mounted guillotine defense video. And I specifically talked about when you shift your weight. So if my head is in the guillotine and his body is on my left, just like Volkanovski's, what I want to do is I want to turn and look in. I want to drive my head in and I want to push off my right leg and I'm going to drive the pressure towards my left and shift that weight. It makes it the hardest for my opponent who's on top in a mounted guillotine to arch up. It puts pressure on their lock. It puts pressure on their head. It's the most difficult side or position to finish the mounted guillotine. I just went over this. And Volkanovski was doing this flopping with his feet. I thought it was hilarious. He was freaking out. But he's a tough dude. And he was definitely, if you guys notice on the video, turning his head in, looking as hard as he could to the left. And what that does is it allows your chin to kind of slip right to the inside. He was also, it started out as an arm in guillotine. And he was also maneuvering his left arm and posting against Ortega's biceps, pushing on the inside. When he kind of pulled his arm out a little bit, but he pushed it, or maybe not the biceps, it might have been the forearm, but he's pushing against Ortega's right arm. And that's helping relieve pressure big time. But if you guys watch, Ortega's trying to finish that mounted guillotine with his legs crossed in the mount. No, no, no. This is not the way to finish the mounted guillotine. It can be finished. There's lots of ways to choke people. So when I say wrong, I don't mean absolutely wrong. But now I'm going to show you guys my mounted guillotine finish, which is my preferred method on how to finish a mounted guillotine. It's going to look very different than the one that Ortega was attempting, but I can't show you tonight, obviously. I'll try to hit that video tomorrow. So that's the first problem. Guillotine attack was not a great guillotine attack. The guillotine would have worked perfect if Volkanovski rolled and turned over, which is what Ortega almost expected in the way he leapt into it was a mount, but it was really more like it was jumping guard. If Volkanovski comes on top, perfect. He would have been able to easily hip out to the side and squeeze in and crunch, and it would have been over. Especially when you have a guillotine deep and you're a master like Ortega. But his mounted guillotine attack, just not what I think is at all the best way to do it. I'll be showing that video tomorrow. What else? Immediately after that, Volkanovski turns on his side to recover guard. He gets into a half guard. After the half guard, he's playing on his side the way he should, and he starts to come up. And as he's looking to come up for a sweep, almost like your most basic old school sweep, he wants to come up. Ortega's already setting up a Darce. He's already setting it up. And that's not a good thing. Like, you would think that from one choke, you want to go to the next choke, the next submission, and he's a submission master, so he should just string them all together. Guys, you can't do that to a good guy. A good guy like Volkanovski, he knows what you're doing. And he's also in good position. The way that Ortega was floating on top, that style of just hoping that your opponent falls into your trap is just, no. You don't, that's not right. That's not the best way to play. That's the best way to play with a beginner in your jiu-jitsu school. Let them fall into the trap. You're rolling in your jiu-jitsu school and you want to have fun and be playful. You want to kind of Gary Tone in it and just be playful with your jiu-jitsu. Then do that. But this is a fight for the title. No, you keep that dude down, and if he insists on coming up, when he makes a mistake, you take advantage of him. In other words, Ortega gave too much ground. He allowed Volkanovski to kind of like come up. And the way he allowed him to come up on that single with the vine of the ankle, that Darce attack, it was so obvious. And when you have the leg, Volkanovski kept his head right in the middle of his chest. There was no Darce. It was never even there. And again, I say this as a person that is whatever. Pat myself on the back. I'm a master of the Darce, you guys. I know what I'm doing with the Darce. You do not Darce like that. That's not how you sacrifice Darce. You sacrifice Darce, which is what he was doing. He was sacrifice Darcing with his right leg controlled by Volkanovski. You don't do it like that. That's not going to work. Your leg is controlled. It's going to take away your angle. And this is the problem with lanky, flexible guys like Ortega. He's very good. He's amazing. But he's so lanky and so flexible that they get away with this stuff. Their arms are so long. They get away with locking things. I'm going to get to the fourth round with the anaconda, but they get away with this stuff where their arms are so long, they just lock stuff, but they miss the angles. With the sacrifice Darce, you have to angle. You have to drop. I have that on videos. Many other people have shown this on videos as well. You don't just wrap a Darce while the guy's in this position, coming up on the sweep, giving him your right leg. Volkanovski saw it a mile away. His head was in the middle the whole time. There was nothing there. Absolutely nothing. So Darce was not even an attempt. I don't even think it registered. That's what's hilarious too, right? It never even registered as a submission attempt. I think I saw at the end of the fight, they listed 3 submission attempts. That was guillotine, triangle choke, and then in the 4th round, the anaconda. The Darce was not even picked up by whoever does the stats. The Darce attempt was a big fail. Not what you should be doing. You got to keep that guy down, force him. If Volkanovski insists on getting up, he will leave a hole. Maybe a hole for a Darce, maybe a hole for a jumping triangle as he forces his way up on a single leg from half guard. But you have to make him fight to do it in order to free up your legs, to get a sprawl going, then attack the sacrifice Darce, then attack the triangle, then attack a back take, then attack a new guillotine, then attack an anaconda. Anyway, I'm gonna while we're still on it, I just saw somebody said, "What do you think of the kipping by Volkanovski?" Personally, I don't think it was all that amazing. I don't think that honestly helped him all that much. The kipping might have helped a little. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's going to talk about, may do a video talking about how genius it was. Personally, I don't think it's needed. I think a solid right foot on the mat. Again, Ortega's in a crossed ankle position. A solid right ankle on the mat with a push of your foot and a driving, turning towards the left with a looking to your left, and then his left arm forcing pressure against the forearm, I think it would have been sufficient. Now, the kipping may have helped create some issues, but I honestly don't think Ortega's form of finishing, which was really an attempt of squeezing, basically muscling the guillotine with a back arch and hips in, I don't think that's good for mounted guillotine. At high levels, I've been in some tough guillotines in my life, guys. I've never tapped once. I've never tapped to a mounted guillotine from a guy doing that, but I'm going to show tomorrow my favorite way to finish in the mount, and I think it is superior. I could be wrong. There's other good guys out there. Maybe they have something that I don't have. Maybe they have like ways of arching like Ortega, but I think any tough guy would have been able to defend that guillotine that knows grappling. Obviously, a tough guy who doesn't know grappling isn't going to get out, but I'm talking about somebody skilled. I think it's going to be all right. Anyway, let's move on. Then Volkanovski gets on top, starts throwing some big bombs. And next, you see the obvious. In fact, one of the commentators mentioned it. I don't remember who was I literally heard it right before, as I'm watching it real time. I heard the commentator say exactly what I saw. I was like, triangle alert, triangle alert. He was throwing bombs, elbows, and punches with his right hand. And I was like, Ortega, do something. And then all of a sudden you saw Ortega grab the head with the right hand. And I went, here it comes. Throws up the triangle. Again, another issue with being lanky. Being lanky is really good in jiu-jitsu. It's a great advantage. It's great in striking too. But it's a great advantage, but it comes with a drawback. Ortega literally just threw up the triangle. It wasn't tight. It was not tight. He pulled the shin, he pulled the head, and with his length, he got his legs locked. But the problem when you're lanky, there's a gap. The long, skinny dudes, you guys have gaps. And even though he's T-City, he's got triangles for days. And guys, look, let me tell you a real quick story. It's not very entertaining, but what's my first experience with Brian Ortega? I was coaching my student, Ruben Almanza, one of my brown belts. He never got a black belt basically because he quit jiu-jitsu. If Ruben Almanza's out there, get to class, kid. Anyway, he's an officer now, sheriff. Anyway, Ruben, he was a great MMA guy. I think he was undefeated. He might have been 6-1, 6-0, or 6-1 in MMA. Amateur, but never did fight professionally. One of my best fighters that I've ever coached. Only went amateur, but good guy. We were getting him ready for his MMA stuff, and then we took him to a jiu-jitsu tournament when he was a purple belt. And guess who we had on the other side? Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega triangled my boy, Ruben. Ruben was tough. Brian Ortega triangled us, I think it was really quick, within the first 2 minutes. So he caught one of my best students, purple belt versus purple belt. And, Henner was real proud, obviously. Ortega triangled us. And I knew that Ortega was good. I had seen Ortega before that. And so this is a long time ago, guys. This is probably 2009. Probably 2009 when Ortega was a purple belt. Somewhere around there, maybe 2010. Kind of hard to remember. But my point is, I know that Ortega is amazing at triangles. So he's arguably one of the best triangle guys. But it's a problem with being lanky. It's sad for you guys. You guys have all the ability to lock these triangles and all these little gaps that you have to learn how to seal. But how do you seal it when you have a guy like Volkanovsky who knows defense? And you know what's hilarious about Volkanovsky's defense to Ortega's triangle? He used the last resort triangle defense. Again, I didn't plan this, guys, but I've shown that technique in my triangle defense video. So go back and watch my triangle defense video. And I think it's where I show at least 3 or 4 or 5 of them. Can't remember. But he actually used the version where you fall towards your opponent's feet. He didn't slam Ortega's feet into the floor, which will kind of mess up the triangle lock. But what he did do is he fell backward in that direction. And when you lean that way and you put pressure against your opponent's lock, it makes it really hard to finish the triangle. And because Ortega is T-City, Brian Ortega, what is he going to do? He's only going to do a triangle. That was a huge mistake. The moment that Volkanovsky started to go back, Ortega should have let go of the leg. I wouldn't have held that leg anymore. He had his left arm on the leg. He was trying to finish the triangle choke. At that point, the gap was exploited. The gap that was in that locked triangle, because Ortega's so lanky, he can lock a triangle fully, what looks fully locked. It looks fully deep. It looked deep, but it's not. There is a gap. There's a clear gap. And when you're lanky, you have that gap. Now, Volkanovski's exploiting it, putting pressure against it, falling backward, and Ortega's sitting there squeezing him. At this point, guys, you must, as he gives up position, Volkanovski recognizes the threat. He doesn't stay on his knees. He doesn't drive in and let the triangle get tighter. He falls back towards the lock, putting pressure on the lock. You immediately have to switch out towards an armbar. And I'm not saying you got to change your legs. I'm not saying anything like that. Try to keep your lock if you can, but you should immediately attack the arm. Attacking the arm will make your opponent be afraid of the threat of the armbar, and then they can start either coming back into your triangle, which can help you reset it and then retighten it and take care of the gaps, or through the armbar attempt, you can then secure a much stronger armbar finish and then go for that. These are the things that I would have done personally. Again, armchair quarterbacking, not in the fight, not in shape, just talking shit as a person that kind of knows something about grappling. Now, It doesn't work. Volkanovsky, nice. Slips right out. Beautiful job. And through the scramble, you saw Ortega hip ice or spin out front to a front headlock as Volkanovsky hip ice to his knees. And Ortega spins to the back. And then we saw this other thing that just kills me as a high-level fighter that doesn't do enough wrestling. What was this movement when Ortega spins for the back, which I'm all for, but when he spins for the back and misses the hooks because you have an explosive 5'6" Volkanovsky exploding up in a tripod and then popping up to his feet fast, athlete, okay? He might say he's average, it's all hard work. I agree, he worked hard. Athletic too. He's got some athleticism. He exploded up. After Ortega slips off the back, what does he do? What if you miss the hooks and the guy kind of pulls out the back door? Where are you? Why did Ortega fall to his back? Ask yourself that, guys. Think about it. Why? Somebody just said rugby athlete. Yeah, he was, amazing rugby athlete. He's an incredible athlete. Well trained, well schooled. Let's get back to it. Why did Ortega end up on his back after a back attack? After he spins to the back and Volkanovsky gets up and he slides off the top after he misses the hooks and Volkanovsky pulls out and he's here. Why did then Ortega flip over and go to his back? Why? Why? Why is that in our DNA if we're Ortega? Why? And I'm going to tell you why. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I don't want to say it. I love Jiu-Jitsu. I don't want to say it. BJJ. That's why. That's why. Not gassing. It's not gassing. It's a reaction. We are trained to do what we do. We are trained. They are trained reactions. Volkanovsky was tired at some points. I know people go, no, you had a crazy gastric. Bullshit. It's a fight. He was tired at points. The reason why he moves the way he does is because of training and good cardio. But you get what I'm saying. You don't move a certain way just because you're in shape. Otherwise, the guys with the best conditioning in the world would be able to win the UFC title. It's training that wins. The gas tank and all those workouts, of course they help. But it's the training, it's the skills, those feints, the head movement, the takedowns, the takedown defense, the getting out of triangles, the getting out of guillotines, avoiding darces. Dude, Volkanovski's a well-rounded martial artist. He's no joke. When he pulled out from the back take, he knew exactly what he was doing. It was not just athleticism, although I did give him that. It's skill. But why did Ortega fall over to his back to then just take a beat down? Terrible. A terrible beat down. A beat down that arguably should have been the end of the fight. Arguably. Now, if you watch to the end of the fight, it's easy to say that, wow, I'm glad they didn't stop it because that was a war and Ortega looked good in the last part of the 5th round. But guys, there's also a lot of head trauma that is immeasurable. We will never be able to measure how many days have been shaved off of Ortega's, life and brain, and, his brain cells and someday with his kids and his grandkids and the time that he's going to lose. And I'm not saying the fight should have been stopped either. I'm just saying that it's definitely questionable. So it could have been, oh gosh, CTE City. Bruce, too soon, bro. It's too soon. Fight just happened. Just say that. Anyway, just joking, having fun. Guys, we're all adults. We can joke. I joke. I mean, I'm talking shit. But, okay. I care about Ortega. I care about Volkanovski. I care about fighters. I mean, they're not super close to me, Ortega's not super close to me, but I do care about him. I didn't want him to take that beat down. And one way to not take it is to have Herb Dean stop the fight. Another way to not take it is to not pull guard after you miss on a back take. He literally rolled over and pulled guard. That's what he did. A trained wrestler would have slipped off the back, even if they're trained in jiu-jitsu. We would have slipped off the back, and then we would have stood back up, possibly with either Volkanovski behind us in a rear standing position with our hands fighting for hand control, or slip off the back and then immediately scramble back up, turn around, and you're doing stand-up. Okay? So these are the much better choices. He could have saved himself a big beatdown right there. Now, I know he was tired. I know he spent a lot of energy on the guillotine, on the DARS, on the triangle choke. Not much on the DARS. Wasn't much there. But guys, we have to avoid these kind of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu reactions. It is the problem. It is what I scream about all the time. It is what makes all the catch wrestling fans that watch me go, I love Coach Brian. And then in the next moment, I talk shit on the catch wrestlers too, because I say, you guys don't know submissions as good as jiu-jitsu guys. And that's the truth. But I tell the truth, guys. I'm pretty brutal with it. Why? Because I'm a wrestler and I'm also a jiu-jitsu black belt, you know? And so I'm going to tell you guys where your problems are. And if you want to be the best, if you want to bring yourself to the highest level you can get, you've got to get your wrestling better. You can't have those reactions. The last one, I know I'm long-winded and I'm going on and I'm stretching this out. And for no other reason than I just want you guys to know my thoughts. These are the things that, real time, I saw the fight once. I did not rewatch it. These are the things that went through my head. Let me say this. I was wondering about, should the fight have been stopped? Could have been stopped at the end of the third, immediately, like right near the end. Should it have been stopped in between rounds? Is it reasonable for Ortega's coach to help him up and get him on a stool? What's odd about MMA is we have, this octagon, and then you have a corner, and then you're down on the ground, right? So it's not like boxing where you're on your feet and then you just kind of go to your corner, right? So you're already on your feet. So when the bell sounds and the referee calls break and you go to your corner, you go to your corner. But in MMA, you're on the ground. So what should the rule be there? I mean, is there a rule? Is it written into the unified rules? You have a guy who's beat down. He's laying with his arms like out. He doesn't look like he can fight right there. He was taking a lot of punishment. Why did he lay there for a few seconds? Herb Dean's looking at him, checking on him. The cut man runs over to do his job. Now, he's not at fault. He's like, I'm doing my job. And then you see, I think it was, I don't know which coach it was, but one of the coaches grabs Ortega as he sits up, because I think the cut man got there first, but I'm not 100% sure. Hard to remember. They're pulling the mouthpiece out. Then you got a coach grabbing him by the wrist, kind of pulling him up by the arm, helping him up on the stool. Look, an unconscious fighter can sit on a stool. That doesn't mean you're there. I know that Herb Dean's doing his job. He's trying to look at him, but there was a ton of people in the corner. You got the inspector, you got the coaches, you got, there's just so much going on, so much chaos. And, I didn't like what I saw. I didn't like it. And then there was all this time spent with the doctor checking him out. And then you got the fingers, and you got to count, and you got to walk to me, you got to walk to the left, and then, this didn't seem right to me. If I was Volkanovsky, I would have been pretty upset. I think that should have been probably stopped. That's my feeling. After seeing Ortega at the very end of the fight, the way he looked, guys, that's not good. That's not good. That was not good at all. Back in the day when I was watching early UFCs and they'd let these guys, go to hell and back, as long as they weren't tapping or giving up or getting knocked out completely, let the fight go on. The old Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the Gracie mentality, like, if you're not dead, then don't stop it. Mario Yamasaki, where are you? But, it's I didn't like it. I maybe call me old, call me a baby, too soft. Call me soft. I don't think that was good for Ortega. There's too many people that they don't come back from this. People get entertained by fights, but guys, he may have been able to be coherent and talk and say some nice words in the octagon after the fight, but the guy's got heart. But we got to protect the athletes too. I mean, we can't just let them get the shit beat out of them, get brain damage. And yeah, I mean, somebody just said he looked like an alien. Guys, he looked like an alien. He didn't look right at the end. That's not healthy. He looked bad. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. A lot of times I don't like them when they stop fights too early. But when I see that, I feel bad for Ortega. I feel like maybe we should have protected him. And when I say we, I just mean MMA. All of us. You know what I'm saying? Doctors, referees, UFC, state athletic commissions, coaches. Coaches want to win too. But what about protection of your athlete? Again, some of these things are immeasurable. We will never be able to measure these things, or we will. Or people who are close to him, his wife, I don't even know if he's married. I assume he is, but I don't even know. His family, his coaches. Maybe later on, maybe they're gonna notice something, and maybe it's because of that fight. Maybe not. Hopefully not. All right, let me move on. Fourth round. We got the clinch. We finally get a little clinch action. What's up, Voodoo? Guys, I got to mention, I got Voodoo Maximus in the house. Pius Voodoo Eni Lobo. U of MMA lightweight champion. He's in the house, one of my guys. Lightweight champ. So, let me get back. So, we have the clinch. We finally have Ortega penetrating for a clinch, looking for an outside trip. The outside trip fails, pushes him into the fence, swings him off the fence. Beautiful Oichigari. Takes him down. And the second he takes him down, Volkanovski's trying to get up, and then he immediately goes for this front headlock. Again, front headlock. Guillotine, right? No. He's trying to lock an anaconda. And he's locking the anaconda with never making any angles, never driving the arm across to cinch it tight. Again, the big dilemma of the longer, skinnier athlete. Never getting the position before the submission. And just wrapping his neck up like, this is the only shot I have. Oh my gosh. Like, I know forgive me, guys, but have some confidence. Think about it. The guy has enough confidence to go for the submission. But you've got to have more than that. It's not just going for the submission. Have confidence that you can control someone for a bit. You're a high-level grappler. Keep the guy down. Don't be a guard puller. But immediately wraps it up. And then there comes this choice. as he wraps up the anaconda without angle. And Volkanovsky goes straight into defense by trying to open up the arm that's being, driven in the choke. Why did Ortega choose this backward roll funk, which was just stupid? Again, tired, fatigued, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu trained. I did not understand this choice by Ortega. By the way, I also consider myself an anaconda man, a guy who knows anacondas well and is very good at them. Why did he choose that? Go back and watch the fight. When Volkanovski's defending, he went into defense mode. You're not going to get me. Why is he upside down? Why did Ortega go upside? For style points. Thank you, Bruce. It's BJJ style points. I mean, in his mind, he's probably done it before. He's probably trying to backward roll into the mount. That's the best I have. Because squeezing an anaconda while your head is being smashed into the mat and your legs are dangling above against the fence in this backward roll position. And I just, what the hell was that? I want to think that he was trying to backward roll in the mount, because as the anaconda is coming apart, it looked like he was trying to backward roll into the mount, which, again, not going to happen. You've got a good fighter. He's not a joke. Volkanovsky ain't no joke. He's coming up on top. And again, what he could have done instead, although I still didn't like the way he just leapt onto an anaconda the moment the fight hit the ground. Again, I know he's good at submissions and he's good at chokes in particular, and he's lanky, but what he could have done was just abandon his feet on the fence, fallen to his side. He would have been on his left side with his right hand on his biceps. And he could have then just walked. Volkanovsky probably would have been pinned near the fence. Would have had trouble. Would have had a tough spot because it's hard to go anywhere. The lock's on the bottom, which is not my preferred position for the anaconda. But T-City's got his hands locked, or his anaconda lock. He could have just walked it up and then possibly even climbed over with a nice little bridge to his left. He probably could have climbed up into the mount that way if he wanted to finish in the mount with his anaconda. I just did not understand the choice to walk feet up the fence, try to backward roll. Just not the best choice. Bad decision. He paid for it. Took a big beating. Let me say this, one of the things that I thought as well watching that fourth round. After the anaconda attempt, there was a couple times when Volkanovski's trying to tee off in the guard, when he stood up and he's trying to pass the guard and throw bombs. Ortega hit this beautiful angle, and he angled, and Volkanovski slipped and fell right into a possible triangle. And Ortega didn't seem to latch on. I honestly think, this is my feeling, okay? I don't know this for sure. It could be the sweat, it could be the fatigue, it could be a lot of things, but I think that Ortega's brain wasn't working so well at that point. It could be straight up fatigue, but the way he made that movement was slick. Guys, check this out. Go back and watch it. There was a movement where Volkanovski's trying to pass. He's trying to almost like underhook the leg of the guard and throw it by. And right when he does it, Ortega angles beautifully. And Volkanovski falls right into a triangle. But it never gets locked. And really, Ortega never even seemed to reach and grab. It's almost as if he was still in recovery mode. That's my feeling. My feeling was he angled off the fence. He did not want to be on the fence. And that angle got him a perfect opportunity, but then he just kind of let it go and then didn't even. And I know he's tired. I know that there's sweat and Volkanovski's a beast and all that. But there was a few more movements that happened in the next few exchanges right after that that led me to believe that, he went for a really kind of an armbar that wasn't there, kind of an omoplata that wasn't there. And it looked to me like Ortega was not gripping. In other words, and I think he wasn't gripping not because of fatigue. I think he was out of it, but could just be fatigue too. I'll admit that. So maybe. We don't know. How do I know? I don't know shit. Anyway, he finished the fight, coming after him. Guy's got the heart of a lion, but, it was definitely an exciting fight. I hope he's going to be okay. I hope he's not hurt. And it was an amazing fight. Amazing performance by Mr. Volkanovsky. And yeah, that's all I have. So stand up. You got to either, guys, if you can't compete with a guy in the stand-up range and you're a jiu-jitsu guy, you better go work your takedowns. Because what good is your jiu-jitsu if you can only get on the ground twice in the fight from 2 takedowns? One of them catching a kick, throwing a jab, and the other one, nice body lock inside trip. If you can only do that, you're a badass on the ground, but you can only get a guy on the ground twice. And the moment you get on the ground, you have to leap onto a submission. Otherwise, you're going to lose it. He's going to get back up. He's going to reverse you. You got deficits. You got problems. You got flaws in your grappling. I got to say it. Simple as that. Simple as that. You've got to get better at grappling all around. Guys, the beautiful thing is when we watch high-level grappling, I know who's number one was just on. And then we have Abu Dhabi, things like that. Many other high-level events. High-level grapplers, not all of them, because some of them do have that kind of style that Ortega has. But super high-level grapplers are well-rounded. Just like how MMA, you got to be well-rounded. You have to be able to do takedowns, get up from the bottom, attack from the top, control from the top, get into positions and control your opponent. It's not just about being a submission freak, although it is about that too. It's about being a submission freak and a position freak and a takedown freak and an escape freak and a get back to your feet freak. It's about everything. And that's what I'd like to see from Ortega the next time we see him, hopefully. I'd like to see him work on that. But I just don't know that that's there because it doesn't seem to be a part of, to quote, Joe Rogan or Eddie Bravo, I just don't think it's in his DNA, as they say. They love to say it's not in his DNA or it's in his DNA. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. In other words, his training has trained him to be a certain way, and I think he needs to sprinkle some more wrestling. And I think it'll make him a lot better. I think he will develop more. But part of it is, though, he's gotten his success from his style. So why change when you're already one of the best fighters in the world? Shut up, Coach Brian. All right, guys. I love you. I'm going to have to go, though. It's getting late, and I'm going to have to get some sleep. And, I can't do this all night. I just yapped for almost 55 minutes. Hope you guys enjoyed. That was my breakdown of Ortega versus Volkanovsky. I love you guys so much. So unless you guys, let me check to see if there's any super chats. I don't think there was. I didn't see any. So since there's no super chats, guys, I'm going to take off. Love you guys. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys could hit the thumbs up, that would be nice. We're at 31 thumbs up, but we got 76 people in the room. We had 80 a little bit ago, but people are already leaving. They're scattering like cockroaches. Can you guys get that thumbs up button? No? Look at this. Even as I ask, oh, we just got one. Thank you. Oh, we got two more. Oh, three more. Oh, we got one more. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. And tomorrow, please tune in. Look for the, I'll be doing guillotine in the mouth, the Coach Brian version. Okay? I want you guys to try it. I'm going to do some tests, though. I'm going to try and make it scientific tomorrow. BBB, what are you talking about? He said, he won't answer my question. What did BBB want? Hold on. I'll answer one question with no super chat. I appreciate the advice, but I'm stressed. I want to hear it from him. She's saying, what the hell are you talking? Child support. BBB, I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. Oh, you're a wrestler, huh? You won the state in California twice. What's your name? I probably know you. Or I know of you. I have a scholarship offer to wrestle for Oklahoma State University. I got this girl pregnant recently. Should I go to college or do MMA for money for my baby? What's your name, BBB? I just turned 18. What's your name? Hey guys, let's wait up and let's see what BBB's got to say. Yo, email me. You don't want, okay. Well, email me, BBB. I get it. I understand. I guess don't want to put you on blast. Email me. I'll try to talk to you, brother. Coach Brian Peterson at gmail.com. Anyway, hey, if you're legit serious, then email me. And if it's not a joke, at first when I read it, I was like, what is this, a joke? If it's not a joke, then come talk to me and I'll try to help you, brother. California wrestlers got to stick together. Anyway, guys, thank you. Tomorrow, look for the guillotine video. What else? I'll try to break down the triangle as well. We'll talk about anaconda. I'll try to do everything this week. All right? Tune in tomorrow. Teach Me Grappling. See you guys next time with more great stuff. I'm out.